Tonight, on First at 9 this Saturday the 20th of September 2025. Vow for Unity. United National Party celebrates its 79th anniversary. Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasizes his commitment to unite all parties moving forward. Head to head, electricity trade unions and CEB chairman meet for talks. Certain trade unions walk out of discussion in protest. Criminal crackdown. 43 minors and 493 women victims of online sexual abuse between 2024 and 2025, says the police. Over 1,700 firearms and 3.5 million narcotic pills seized by the police during raids so far this year. The license law. All drivers in the public transport service mandated to obtain a PT license before the 31st of December, reveals Minister of Transport. Petta Inferno. Fire breaks out at First Cross Street in Petta. Multiple fire engines and a helicopter deployed to contain the flames.
Kalin baby so rupial anuwakata. Kalin baby podi hamotamai.
This is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Derana First at 9. I'm Aditya Singh joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Brought to you by the only Sri Lankan media network to rise to the pinnacle across all media platforms, recognized as the best by every survey and beloved by the people. Now, your top story tonight, the United National Party marked its 79th anniversary today under the patronage of former President Ranil Wickremesinghe, with leaders from all opposition parties joining the celebration. This occasion also marked the first public appearance of the former president since his arrest. Speaking at the event, former President Wickremesinghe and leader of the United National Party underscored his dedication to fostering unity among all political parties to collectively confront and challenge the government's authoritarian actions.
The 79th anniversary of the United National Party was held this morning in Sri Jayawardenepura under the patronage of party leader, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe. In a notable gesture, the UNP extended invitations to all opposition parties to participate in this year's anniversary convention. Accordingly, representatives from the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna, Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Sarva Jana Balaya, Mahajana Eksat Peramuna, Pivituru Hela Urumaya, Eksat Jana Raja Peramuna, Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, and the Democratic People's Front were in attendance. Ceremonial floral tributes were offered to the nation's late political leaders, including founder of the UNP, D.S. Senanayake. A commemorative video was then screened, highlighting the developmental milestones achieved under the leadership of various national figures over the past 76 years.
The anniversary celebration was initially set to take place on the 6th of September at the Sirikota. However, in an unexpected turn of events concerning the party leader led to the postponement of the event. Subsequently, the party's working committee was instructed to extend invitations to all who stood by the party during challenging times. It remains imperative that the current constitutional dictatorship in the country be brought to an end.
We must unite to safeguard the democracy that has been preserved for the past 77 years. This commitment must be upheld whether or not we hold positions in Parliament. As the main opposition, the Samagi Jana Balawegaya is dedicated to taking proactive measures to ensure protection of democratic governance. Driven solely by the desire for power, we have mutually accused one another of corruption, leading the public to perceive us as wrongdoers, while those who truly harmed the nation were viewed as patriots. We are confronting the consequences of that reality today. The country now faces a critical juncture as clear attempts to undermine democracy are unfolding before our very eyes.
හිට්ලර්ගේ නායකත්වයෙන් නාසි පක්ෂය නැගිටින්න කලින්
Before the rise of Hitler's Nazi party, it consistently performed poorly in elections, garnering barely 3% of the votes. Yet it suddenly ascended to power. Similarly, the JVP, concealing its true identity as the NPP, rose politically while blaming the economic crisis on the preceding administration, like Hitler blamed the Jews for Germany's economic woes in 1919. Hitler seized power by inciting hatred. To that end, they cultivated hatred among the public and set the residences of those politicians ablaze. To understand potential threats to Sri Lanka, we must study the emergence of authoritarianism in 1930s Germany. When certain mayors threatened to preserve their power at enormous human cost, I'm reminded of Hitler's Germany. The arrest of former President Ranil Wickremesinghe quickly brought all parties of the opposition together. The primary challenge is to sustain this unity until this fascism is fully countered. We believe that Ranil Wickremesinghe must spearhead this collective effort.
ගත යුත්තේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා කියලායි අපි විශ්වාස කරන්නේ.
Bimal Ratnayaka රූපවාහිනී වැඩසටහනකදී යනවා.
In a recent interview, MP Bimal Ratnayaka questioned what former President Ranil Wickremesinghe accomplished during his tenure. While many measures were implemented, one crucial task was overlooked. Those who attempted to storm into parliament to damage it were not apprehended. Beyond that, essential resources such as fuel, gas and fertilizers were supplied to the public and foreign reserves were strengthened under his administration.
තැනකට ගෙනත් දුන්න අරක විතරයි කරේ නැත්තේ.
මාව අත්අඩංගුවට ගැනීම. මම නිල සංචාරයක ගියේ.
Recently, I was arrested over an official tour I made to London. My itinerary included a visit to Cuba to attend a conference of developing nations. During the visit, I also met with several African heads of state. After that, I participated in the United Nations General Assembly held in New York, during which I met several other presidents. I attended the assembly primarily to hold talks with the World Bank President, the IMF Managing Director, and the UN Secretary General. On my return, we stayed overnight in London before arriving in Colombo. This was an official state visit, yet I was arrested over this matter. I presented the official invitation as evidence of the fact that my visit was in fact a state visit. Authorities raised concern over what I brought back from London. I could make the same argument on President Anwar Dissanayaka's visit to Germany. Later I learned that a formal complaint had been lodged against me. This complaint had been filed by the secretary to the incumbent president. This sequence of events led to my arrest. During that period, all opposition parties united in response. Our focus today transcends party politics. Our main objective is to defeat this constitutional dictatorship. The government claims that my expenditure totaled to 16 million rupees. Upon assuming office in 2022, the country's GDP stood at $76.8 billion. However, when the incumbent president assumed office, it had reached $98.9 billion US. We enacted the National Audit Act in 2018 and the Anti-Corruption Act in 2022. If our administration was indeed corrupt, how could these laws have been passed to apprehend wrongdoers? They are attempting to impose a system of constitutional dictatorship by suppressing the voices of the opposition. We must openly face this challenge. We established an open economic framework enabling opportunity for all. We democratized politics, preventing its domination by a single ruling elite. Leaders such as Ranasinghe Premadasa, DB Wijayatunga, Maithripala Sirisena and Anwar Dissanayaka assumed the presidency. We established this inclusive political system. We must not abandon our objective. Unity is essential as we proceed forward. Let us embrace collective action, ensuring everyone is included as we move forward.
අපි ඉදිරියට යමු. එකතු වෙමු.
ඔයාගේ හීන ලන්තයට අපිත් එක්ක යන්න අදම සනස ලයිෆ් එක ඉන්ෂුවර් වෙන්න.
A discussion was held today between trade unions affiliated with the Ceylon Electricity Board and the chairman of the CEB to discuss several concerns, including the CEB's proposed restructuring. Before the conclusion of the discussion, several trade unions walked out in protest, accusing the director of the CEB of attempting to sell out the CEB under the guise of restructuring.
Trade unions affiliated with the Ceylon Electricity Board launched a work-to-rule strike action on the 4th of September over 24 demands. The outraged unions claim that the demonstrations were organized against the proposed arbitrary restructuring of the Ceylon Electricity Board. Against this backdrop, representatives of trade unions met with the chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board today at the CEB headquarters to discuss matters of concern in this regard. According to reports, the discussions yielded satisfactory resolutions to grievances aired by unions on workers' wages and allowances.
Our union believes that we need to reach a bilateral agreement to integrate our employees into the new companies being set up. We need a new procedure procedure to do that. The chairman informed us that the formulation of such a procedure is currently underway. During discussions, all employees who attended were of the opinion that all shares of the new entities must be completely owned by the Treasury. We also agree that there should be an increase in wages. We have appointed a committee to decide on that matter. We will be able to announce the details pertaining to the increase in salaries and allowances next week as per the final report submitted by the said committee. Two of the unions who participated in the previous demonstration also attended today's meeting. They walked out mid-discussion, claiming that they collectively opposed the meeting which took place today.
The trade unionists who stormed out mid-discussion later convened a press conference to share their thoughts on the matter.
The Director General is arbitrarily trying to sell out the CEB under the guise of a restructuring procedure. He is also misinforming the President on this matter. As a result, the unions have decided to boycott discussions chaired by him.
In the meantime, a controversial call recording between the National Employees Union of the CEB and former CEB trade union leader Ranjan Jailal was released to the media yesterday. The leaked recording exposed a heated exchange between Jailal and a union member over the ongoing CEB restructuring plans. During the controversial conversation, Jailal, who now serves as the mayor of Kadwala, was heard issuing death threats to the trade unionist on the other end of the call. Following an event in Kadwala today, Mayor Ranjan Jailal commented on the leaked recording.
I was accused of issuing death threats. I believe that they are permitted by the law of the land to defend themselves if they are attacked. However, they have taken my remarks out of context. Who formulated the structure of the electricity sector is irrelevant whether it is Sajith, Ranil or Kanchana. Selling off the CEB was the previous plan, but now it is different. We are not selling it off. If we implement the previous reform proposal, then I agree we are not fulfilling the mandate of the people. We will not be a part of this government if the CEB is sold off. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa claims the government is even willing to commit murder to remain in power. Addressing a gathering today, the opposition leader went on to say that the government is deceiving the public.
Another iteration of the opposition leader's mobile service series was held in Nallachchiya today under the patronage of opposition leader Sajith Premadasa.
Farmers are desperate once again. The incumbent government understood their pain when they did not have any power. However, what is their opinion after they have assumed power? They say that they will not give up power. They say they would commit murder to protect the government. They also say that they would even give up their lives to protect the government. They expressed willingness to murder 100,000 people if it protects the government. They say their previous statements are irrelevant now. How could they deceive the public like this? I'm happy about the fact that I'm raising my voice on concerns of farmers at the incumbent president's hometown itself. Residents of this village have not received a fair price for their harvests. However, they turn off microphones when we raise concern on the price of rice in parliament. We are not ready to be silenced just yet. Meanwhile, leader of Sarvajana Balaya, parliamentarian Dilith Jayavir asserts that the incumbent government's deceitful political agenda is out for everyone to see through their asset declarations. Addressing a gathering today, the parliamentarian further claims that certain members of the NPP have undervalued assets on their declarations.
The Sarvajana Sabha of Polpitigama in the Yapahuwa Kurunagal electorate was established today under the patronage of the leader of Sarvajana Balaya, parliamentarian Dilith Jayavira.
The NPP came into power promising to eradicate corruption. However, their declarations of assets and liabilities state that they own assets worth 300 or 400 million rupees. A certain deputy minister has valued a plot of land in Kotte, valuing a perch of land at 400,000 rupees. However, the real value of a perch of land in that area is around 4 million rupees. The deputy minister submitted an affidavit stating that he owns a plot of land in that area valued at a much lower figure. That in itself is a crime that can land him in prison. The party itself has been established to spread corruption. They collect money from traffickers, concealing it under the party fund. When other parties did it in the past, they called it bribery. But when they do it, it is a donation made out of camaraderie. How many entrepreneurs who have earned honestly have they defamed, including myself? How much have they insulted me, a man who has sacrificed a lot to be here today? This is deceitful politics. Now, Minister of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation Bima Ratnayaka reveals that drivers engaged in the public transport service will have to mandatorily obtain their public transport license by the 31st of December this year. The minister further went on to say that the government is committed to transforming the Sri Lankan Transport Board, adding that it would not be an easy task.
A special development committee of the Transport and Highways sector in the Ampara district convened under the patronage of Minister of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation, Bima Ratnayaka today.
Wearing seat belts was made mandatory. I accept that certain vehicles did not have seat belts when they were first manufactured. Although owners are keen to add useless modifications to buses, they overlook the useful addition of a seat belt. Now some use shoulder straps of school bags as seat belts to deceive police officers. What is the point of doing that? These incidents clearly depict the attitude of certain drivers and bus owners. Such individuals should not be given the opportunity to take up the responsibility of lives of 50 people. We have decided that only sensible people must be allowed into the public transport service. What happens if we recruit incompetent officers into the police service? It will definitely not work out. Every driver engaged in the public transport service will have to obtain a public transport license. We have already formulated necessary regulations. All drivers must obtain their PT license by the 31st of December. The examiner's report related to the Alla bus accident came in. The report shows that brakes on one side of the bus have been malfunctioning for over a year. Yet they used the same bus to transport 50 people. What a tragedy. We still could not fix the CDB due to what previous politicians have done. Ministers who commute using luxury vehicles have destroyed vehicles such as CTB buses used by the general public. What is your salary?
ඩිපෝ අධිකාරිතුමාලා සර් ඒ ගන්නවා ඩිපෝ එකේ ලොක්කගේ පඩිය 50000 නම් ඊට වඩා කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වගේම දැන් හොරකම් කරන අය ඔක්කොම ගෙදර යවන්න. ඊපස්සේ ස්පෙයා පාර්ට් ප්‍රශ්න. අධිකාරිලා මොකද කියන්නේ? ඇයි කතා කරන්නේ නැති සමහර අධිකාරිලා. ඔයාගේ ඩිපෝ වල හොඳ ස්පෙයා පාර්ට්ස් හම්බෙනවද? මේවට අපිට එනේවා කළා කිව්වා කාලා තියා කාලයක් දුවනකොට ඒක ඇත්තටම දෝෂකට ඒක වතුර වගේ ඉස්සරහා එහෙම දැන් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාට මාවන් දන්න අමාරු.
It is difficult for you to fool me. I have visited 15 bus depots and learned all there is to know. My level of knowledge might not be the same as yours. What I'm simply asking is whether the spare parts received by your depot are of good quality.
Quality. Right, එහෙනම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. quality ඒක ශ්‍රී ලංකා වම්මත අඩ දිනවා. ගන්න කමිටුව කරා තමයි එනවා. අනේ මේ ආරෙන් ඔයා කමිටු ගැන දන්නවනේ.
What do you know about committees? This is my last warning to you. Try to change the SLTB's predicament. We will try our best to change the SLTB. It will not be an easy task. Today, magistrates are empowered to arrest even former executive presidents. Stand in front of a mirror and compare yourself against someone who was put into remand custody recently. We kindly ask you to change your attitude. A police media spokesperson, Assistant Superintendent of Police F.U. Wootler, claims that 43 children and 493 women have become victims of online sexual abuse in the cyberspace between 2024 and 2025. Meanwhile, the police media spokesman also revealed that over 1,700 firearms and 3.5 million narcotic pills have been seized by the police during raids conducted so far this year. In 2024, 1,500 children have become victims of online sexual abuse in the cyberspace. During the same year, 375 women have also become victims of online sexual abuse. Sri Lanka police have managed to apprehend 114 suspects over these crimes. So far, in 2025, 28 children and 118 women have become victims of online sexual abuse. In the meantime, 282 children were apprehended over narcotics-related inquiries in 2024, while 206 children have been apprehended over drug-related crimes so far in 2025.
ඒ වගේම 2025 වසරේ මත්ද්‍රව්‍ය සඳහා ළමුන් 206ක් අත්අඩංගුවට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා.
Sri Lanka police also urged the general public to contact the relevant hotlines at any time to report critical incidents related to children.
If children or their parents are posed with a grave concern, they can report their issue to the nearest police station. You can also inform the police by contacting our emergency numbers, which include 119 and 118. 109, a trilingual contact number, can also be used to contact the police, while the 1997 hotline also exists for public use. One can also contact the new Inspector General of Police via Note 71 859 8888. To share their concerns with the Inspector General, the public can submit photographs or video clips to the said number.
Meanwhile, police media spokesperson ASP FU Wootler commented on the raids and investigations conducted so far, which have yielded positive results, including the recovery of significant quantities of narcotics and illegal firearms.
We were able to arrest 38 gunmen, 27 motorcyclists and 263 individuals suspected of aiding and abetting criminal activity during raids and investigations we have carried out so far. Sri Lanka police also confiscated 61 T56 firearms, 62 pistols and 40 revolvers. In total, 1,721 local and foreign manufactured firearms have been seized. Meanwhile, legal proceedings have been initiated against 17 individuals extradited to Sri Lanka from abroad. Additional red warrants have been issued against 30 suspects, while further investigations are currently underway. In 2025, 955 kilograms of heroin, 1,422 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine, 471 kilograms of hashish, 29 kilograms of cocaine, 13,773 kilograms of cannabis, and 3.5 million narcotic pills have been seized by the police. Welcome back. Now, Russian ambassador to Sri Lanka and the Maldives, Levan Jagarian, claims that Russia is ready for discussions with Ukraine regarding the ongoing Russo-Ukrainian conflict. Speaking at an event in Colombo, the Russian envoy, however, revealed that the Russian authorities are not open to a ceasefire.
Mariupol 2022-2025 exhibition was recently held at the Russian Cultural Center in Colombo. It showcased how Russia is restoring cities it describes as liberated from Ukrainian control. During the exhibition, a press conference was also held where the Russian envoy in Colombo shared thoughts on the Russo-Ukrainian war.
We would like to confirm our readiness to start negotiations. Even my President Putin, is ready. You know quite well our demands. Ukraine will never join NATO, whether Western countries want it or they don't want it. We don't want to see military infrastructure of NATO close to our borders. Once again, we are ready for peaceful talks, but at the moment being, some of the European countries are main spoilers. They want to derail this peace process. The main spoilers are United Kingdom, France, Germany and Poland, including Baltic states. They want to inflict strategic defeat to the Russian Federation. Once again, it's impossible. We will defeat the puppet regime of the Ukraine and its foreign sponsors. But at the same time, we are ready for peaceful talks. Not ceasefire. We need guarantees. Strong, reliable guarantees.
Sri Lanka's third nanosatellite, collaboratively developed by the Kyushu Institute of Technology, Japan, and the Arthur C. Clarke Institute for Modern Technology, Sri Lanka, was deployed into orbit at 2:20 p.m. yesterday. The Arthur C. Clarke Institute for Modern Technologies in Moratu announced that the research satellite named Birds X Dragonfly is designed to conduct 3 space research missions. ACC-IMT noted that Birds X Dragonfly comes at no cost to Sri Lanka. The project, conceived by former ACC-IMT Director General Dr. Sanat Panavennage as a QTech ACC-IMT collaboration, was supported by international partners based on Sri Lanka's strategic and technical contributions. Since 2019, Sri Lankan engineers have contributed to the development of 3 nanosatellites, with Birds X Dragonfly being the third. Birds X Dragonfly satellite was carried to the International Space Station aboard the SpaceX 33 rocket launched by NASA on the 24th of August. The successful deployment of Birds X Dragonfly marks another milestone in Sri Lanka's progress in the space technology development industry. The 82nd Medical Clinic series of the series organised by Derana, the social responsibility arm of the Derana Media Network, was held today at the Buddhist Centre in Malabar. The medical clinic, which focused on early detection of kidney disease, also conducted free blood and lung examinations, while free spectacles were also donated to those in need. Leeson's Hospital Ragama and the main sponsor of the event, while the IIHS Institute of Higher Education CIPLA, Aqualife, George Stewart Health, the Office of the Medical Officer of Marthale, Mildol, Omron and Vision Care provided co-sponsorship. Organizational assistance for the clinic was provided by Sri Punyavardhana Society of Marthale Buddhist Centre. A fire erupted on the third floor of a building at First Cross Street in Petta around 4 p.m. today. The Colombo Municipal Council Fire Service Department swiftly deployed more than a dozen fire engines to battle the blaze, which quickly spread to 2 nearby shops. A helicopter was also brought in to assist dousing the flame. By evening, officials confirmed that the fire had been brought under control. Police officers further state that no casualties were reported in the incident. Now in your business news, US President Donald Trump signed an executive order that will add a $100,000 annual fee for applicants to the H-1B visa program for skilled foreign workers. Trump's order mentions abuse of the program and will restrict entry unless payment is made.
Critics have long argued that H-1Bs undercut the American workforce, while supporters, including billionaire Elon Musk, argue it allows the US to attract top talent from around the world. In another order, Trump set up a new gold card to fast-track visas for certain immigrants in exchange for fees starting at €1 million. Trump's order is due to come into force on the 21st of September. According to U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, the order would only apply to new requests, but companies would have to pay the same amount for each applicant for 6 years. Since 2004, the number of H-1B applications has been capped at 85,000 per year. Until now, H-1B visas have carried various administrative fees, totaling around $1,500. Data from U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services shows that applications for H-1B visas for the next fiscal year fell to about 359,000, a 4-year low. The greatest beneficiary of the program the previous fiscal year was Amazon, followed by tech giants Tata, Microsoft, Meta, Apple and Google, according to government statistics.
That's all the news we have for you tonight. Thank you. Have a great night.